Hey everybody, this is Bob with another audio tutorial. In this video, we'll take a look at a basic singer-songwriter acoustic track and with some production techniques, see how we can take this to a more produced, pop-sounding, finished product, if you will. Now, there's nothing wrong with just an acoustic vocal track if that's what you're going for, but some songwriters may want to do as I did with this song and add more production to it. This is not a complete deconstruction of this song, but I'll give you a high-level overview of what's going on in this mix, and maybe it'll give you some ideas. Now, if I mention a term or a technique that you have a question about or would like to see a tutorial, just leave a comment and I'll see what I can do. What I have pulled up here is my song, Surviving the Rain. Now, let's get started by listening to the chorus, and I'll just kind of solo up the lead vocal and the acoustic guitar, and you can see where this song started, and then I'll put all the tracks on, and it'll give you an idea of kind of where we're going with this, and we'll see what we end up with. So here it is, just the lead vocal and acoustic guitar.
Now you understand what love can do, never getting over what you
So here it is again in the context of the entire mix.
Now you understand what love can do, never getting over what you lose.
Okay, so the first thing I do is start with a click track. And I know it's really, really boring to play to a metronome, and so that's why I don't do it. So what I do is I just program some MIDI drums and play to that. It's a lot more exciting to play to a drum track than it is to a metronome. But you need to do that for a couple of reasons. One, if we're going to play some MIDI regions here, it's nice to be able to play on the grid, copy and paste or cut and paste and move some of this stuff around on the grid. That's number one. Number two, most people that don't play to a click track, when they start the song at a certain tempo and as the intensity builds in your song, folks have a tendency to play faster. So if you listen to the beginning of the song and then you listen to the end of the song, it's almost like a different song because it's playing so much faster. So a click track will keep you from doing that. I just a lot of times take a drum kit and play a bass drum on the 1 and 3 and a snare on 2 and 4. And yeah, that can get a little monotonous and boring, but it's better than playing to a metronome. So once I have my click track up and running, then I just play through the song, play the acoustic guitar, play the vocal, sing the vocals, and I just play through the entire song. And then what I like to do is then build the structure, okay, and label it. So you can see here I have intro, verse 1, chorus, verse 2, chorus, and then bridge, here's a lead, chorus, and then here's an outro. So I like to get the structure of the song down, so that helps me later with the editing. Let's start with listening to this acoustic guitar track here, and then we'll just move this over here to start with this verse. And what I did or what I do a lot of times is just double the acoustic guitar. Maybe put a capo on it, a couple of frets, and play different chords, so I'm in the same key, of course. But in this case, I grabbed an electric guitar and did a left and a right, and just played them slightly differently, just to make this guitar sound a little bit bigger. So let's listen to that, just the acoustic track, and then I'll put on the electric guitars. And now here's with the left and right. They're played slightly different, and listen to the difference. They're played obviously differently in the choruses. Now this in the context of the mix.
Now you understand what love can do. Never.
Let's take a look at the MIDI drum track. A couple of things about MIDI drums. One, if you quantize everything exactly on the beat and play it all at the same velocity, it's going to sound like a machine playing the drums. So to avoid that, I've done a couple of things. Let me just zoom in on this piano roll here and take a look. First of all, the colors of these notes indicate that they're played at different velocities. And if I zoom in here, and if you look at the grid, you will see they're not hitting exactly on the grid. And some are, like this one. But so that's kind of a key thing to make this have more of a human feel. Vary your velocity. Now, a little bit about the velocity. It's not just louder. When you hit a snare drum and then you hit it again a little bit louder, yes, the volume goes up, but when you change the velocity and make it louder, it also changes the timbre of that instrument, pulls out more harmonics in it. So this is a key thing that I'll just kind of pass over very quickly on drum programming. Another trick is parallel compression or New York style compression for drums. I'll let you hear that real quick. This is the drum track with no compression. Now I'll turn the compression on and then back off. Here's the parallel compression track just by itself. Obviously very heavily compressed, and then mix that in with the uncompressed track. And here they are together. This song really needed that in the chorus because it builds in intensity and the drums were kind of getting lost. The other thing, because of the level of intensity increases throughout the song, I'm going to show you the automation lane here just on the track volume on this parallel compression track. You can see that it constantly, it starts out here at minus 10 dB, and by the end of the song, it's all the way up to 3.8. So you can see that the level of this is getting higher and higher throughout the song. One of the things that you're going to start to notice in this mix is that for each instrument, a lot of times I'm layering them. So let's go on to the bass track, and you can see here in the verses it's just one bass track, but when it gets over to the chorus here, there's an extra bass track there because of the intensity and the way it was building, and it needed something a little bit extra. So let me show you this transition from the end of this verse into this chorus. Right there is where the intensity picks up, and this bass was kind of getting lost. So I added this bass here. That's without both of them. Here's with the added. So it just gave it that punch that it needed. Now if we move on here to, let's see, in the verses here, we have this little dreamy guitar. Well, let's start with this muted guitar sound. And then along with that, I did a left and a right, a little dreamy guitar sound here. And so you get that in the rest of the mix.
Mask in the scars is what you do.
Go over here to the chorus. Little electric guitar here. And then along with that, we have a left and a right, just a different type of guitar MIDI guitar played along with it. Here's what we have. Now in the rest of the mix.
What you do.
And that pretty much makes up the rest of the MIDI instruments except for the lead. Now this lead, there's a stack, it's doubled as well, and it has a left and a right on this lead here. Let me play the lead section for you. So that's kind of the left channel, and the reverb and the delay get it kind of coming around on both sides. Here's the channel that goes with that, kind of on the right side. It's has a little more bottom end to it. So those two mix together. So that lead really needed something like that. Lots of delay going on, some reverb, made it a little larger than life sounding, and now in the context of the mix. Now, a little bit about my color scheme here. The reason I do that so I can keep track when I'm looking at the arrange window. I can keep track of what's drums, what's bass, where are my vocals, and this is just my way of doing it. So everybody's going to have their own workflow and their own ideas. But all the blue tracks here are recorded with a microphone. So that's my vocals, my acoustic guitar, and electric guitar. The red that's all the MIDI drums. The orange is bass, and then all of the green down here is MIDI instruments. And it's pretty obvious to see when you're looking at this, everything's not playing at the same time. So you see holes in the verses, and you go over here to the chorus, and you see different stuff playing in the chorus, and then a little more going on towards the end of the song when you get into this bridge, the lead, and the last chorus. The only other thing that's going on here is an actual Apple loop that came with Logic Pro. I found some background vocals here. I'll play that for you real quick. This is in the chorus. So one's in the left channel, one's in the right channel, and they're identical, except that this left channel here has a high-pass filter on it. And on the right side, it's going to sound different because I didn't use that high pass. And you put those together. Now in the context of the mix.
What you do.
Now just a quick tip on whether you're using Apple loops or it's a MIDI instrument that you're playing. You'll want to check the low end, see what low end information is on these things, because if you didn't record it, and even on these MIDI instruments, you'll want to look. Sometimes there's a lot of noise down there. So you start putting 20, 30 tracks together, and you have a lot of low-end hum, rumble, a lot of that kind of information below 100 hertz. You'll want to roll that off with a high-pass filter. Otherwise, your mix is going to be muddy. Let's look at the vocals. The vocals is an important part of this song here. I doubled the vocals, so here's the lead vocal, and then it was doubled here. So let's listen to the chorus here, and just listen to the lead vocal.
Now you understand what love can do.
Now these were sung at different times, So I panned them left and right, and so you're going to have that natural delay. You know, it's hard for someone to sing exactly on top of the vocal for each track, so you have some natural delay here. So here's what it sounds like with this vocal doubled.
Now you understand what love can do.
So, and then in the context of the mix,
now you understand what love can do. Never getting over what you do.
Okay, so there you go. So that's how I got from a basic acoustic guitar vocal track to do a little more of a produced pop song. So I hope you got something out of the video. Please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe, and more's on the way. See you next time.